So this is my video on how to use reflexive verbs in French. So what are they? Well, they're verbs which reflect the action back to the person doing the action. So they're things that you do to yourself. So for example, I wash myself, I wake myself up, I get myself up. In the infinitive, you can see them in the dictionary that they have a se at the beginning of the usual infinitive. So se coucher, for example, to go to bed. So how do you form the tenses of these? It's really easy. You just remove the se, and my students always remember this. You put it in your pocket because you know you've got to do something with it later. Then you treat the verb like any er, re, or ir verb in the tense you need. So for example, se coucher, put the se in our pocket, and we're left with coucher, and then we decide which tense we're going to use. So it might be the present tense, it might be the past tense, it might be the imperfect tense, it might be the passé composé. So you choose the tense, you change the verb as you would do normally, and then you deal with the rest, use the se in a minute. So how do you deal with that? Well, you need to know the reflexive pronouns for each of the people. And then this se, once you've dealt with the verb, you put the se, take it out of your pocket, put it before the verb, but after the subject pronoun je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, and elle, and then you change the se to the correct pronoun, depending on who you're talking about. So it's me, or te, or ce, or nous, or vous, or ce. Slightly odd that in the reflexive you have nous, and vous, but that's completely correct. Okay, so let's take an example then. So let's take se coucher, which is to go to bed. So we remove the se and put it in my pocket. So we're left with coucher. Now I want to change it to the right tense for the correct person. So here I'm going to use the I form in the present tense. So that will become je couche. Now we've still got that se in our pocket, so we need to take it out and put it for our first verb. So our verb here is here. So we're going to put it here. So that gives us je se couche, but we have to change that se, so we're using it for the correct form for I. So it would become je me couche, I go to bed. Okay, so let's have you have a go. Let's take the verb se laver, which is to wash yourself or oneself, and I want you to change it into the we form in the present tense. We wash ourselves. So you have a go, pause it now, have a go, and then we'll go over the answer together. Okay, so we've got se laver, so you should have taken the se off to give you laver. Then we change it to the nous form for the present tense, so nous lavons. And then we take the se out of our pocket and put it before our verb here, so nous se lavons. And then the se has to change to the right person, in this case nous. So our answer should be nous nous lavons. We wash ourselves. Or we wash, we'd probably say more commonly in English. Okay, let's have some practice then. So change the following verbs just in the present tense. I've given you the infinitives up here. So se marier, se reposer, s'entendre bien avec, se lever, se promener, and se coucher. See if you can put these into French. Doesn't matter if you get the end bit not quite so right, as long as you get the reflexive parts correct. So pause it now and then we'll go over the answers. Right, so the answers. Numéro 1, nous nous couchons tard. Nous nous couchons tard. Numéro 2, elle s'entend bien avec sa sœur. Numéro 3, il se promène. Promener is a boot verb. If you haven't looked at my present tense video, you might want to have a look at that, the second part. A boot verb, and it adds an accent in third person plural. Il se promène. Je me repose. Il se lève tôt. And nous nous marions. Okay, so I hope you've got those right. It doesn't matter if you haven't got it completely correct with the tense, but as long as you've got the pronouns right at this stage, that's fine. If you're doing high levels, you should really be getting the tenses right as well. Okay. One other thing to note, or some other things to note, is when you have it with an infinitive, it's a bit more of an extension, we still use the reflexive pronoun, but this time we change the se, we leave it before the infinitive, but we change it to correct for reflexive pronoun. So here's some examples. J'aime me lever tard. I like getting up late. So the lever is our infinitive, the se has changed to me to go with the person who's doing the action. Je here in the I form. I like getting myself up late. Nous aimons nous lever tôt. I've done it the same thing, but in the new form. We like getting up early. Il veut se coucher tard. He wants to go to bed late. Coucher is our infinitive. Se stays as se because it's the he form. But in this case, vous aimez vous coucher tôt. Coucher is our infinitive. The se is now changed to vous because we're doing it with vous, the you plural. So you like going to bed early. Now this one we're using the future tense this time, the near future. Je vais me doucher demain. I'm going to have a shower tomorrow. Doucher is our verb in the infinitive. The se has changed to me because it's the I form of the verb. So I'm going to have a shower tomorrow. And then I'll just give you another example. Ils vont se doucher demain. The se stays the same. Here's our infinitive. The se is to go with the il, the they. They are going to have a shower tomorrow. Okay, so let's have a look at these verbs now in the tenses. Now, one thing to note that all reflexive verbs take être in the passé composé, so that might help you with this. If you need your tense notes out, have a go, have them out with you, rewind it back if you're still not sure, use a dictionary if you need to, and pause it now and have a go. Right, let's go over the answers. So, numéro 1, ils se sont couchés tard. Remember I said that reflexive verbs take the être, so ils se sont couchés tard with an extra s on the end of the past participle. Elle s'est mariée la semaine dernière. Ils vont se promener, so here's a good example of using it in the infinitive form. They're going to go for a walk. Je m'habillerai bientôt. I will get dressed soon. Je m'entendais bien avec ma mère, using imperfect this case. Ils se lèveront tôt. Hier soir, nous sommes reposés. Et 8. Je vais m'entendre bien avec le prof. Le professeur or la professeure. Oui, le prof. This is another example of using the infinitive where we've got s'entendre, but the se, remember there's an apostrophe here because there's two vowels together. The se has changed to me to go with the I form of the verb. So I'm going to get on well with the teacher. Okay, hope you got the hang of it. Rewind it back if you need to have another go.